So that will be, so keep sending in the questions. Bhaskar is compiling them and sending to me. So I'll answer all those questions on Friday. Over to you, Agus coach.
Yeah, sir, today Namrish coach is taking, sir. I'm unmuting
Okay.
Namrish.
Yeah, over to you, Namri coach.
Yeah, thank you. Hello.
Yes, sir, Namrish, sir.
Yes, thank you. Today I stay also with Agus Coach and Dwi Coach. And good afternoon, all the coaches. Hopefully, all in good health. And thank you for joining with us for this class. Today, our topic is physically endurance, strengthening, speed, agility, and flexibility. Badminton physical training is also needed so that the player are able to improve complex and maximum movement skill. So physical for player is very, very important to support performance on the court, especially when playing in three games. Physically also support player so they can play consistently until finish the game. They are player lose in the match because they are physically weak. That's why physical is very, very important for the players. In badminton, there are especially physical exercise that badminton players also need to do and other form of the training such as endurance, strengthening, speed, agility, and flexibility. And first, I want explain about endurance training. To train endurance and stamina of badminton players, activities that can be done are movement that have aerobic value. There is one example of aerobic and anaerobic exercise that can be practiced so that the immune system of the players can continue to be stable and even increase, like running for 40 or 60 minutes is one example of physical exercise to increase endurance aerobically. The purpose of doing this exercise is to increase the ability of muscle endurance, be sure to vary the speed and keep of practicing by increasing the quality of the frequency and intensity as well, so that the movement of the players can remain harmonious and consistent even if they play long enough. I think this for endurance training. So maybe Co-Fisher, maybe Agus Good can more explain about endurance training, please. Thank you.
Agus coach, you want to start first?
Yes, okay. Hello.
Yes.
First, Namri coach is talking about sharing about endurance. So badminton is a anaerobic sport, not aerobic sport. So anaerobic, it's mean we're doing without oxygen, without O2. So that's why in badminton, very fast and then rest just a little. So do it again. So how can we have a training of depend from base base from when you play in tournament something and then bring in training. So badminton is a anaerobic sport, so without O2. But before we go to the anaerobic, our aerobic doing with the O2 must be good first. Just like Namri coach said, aerobic must be have a like a if we build a house, foundation must be good. If not, we cannot make anaerobic can make good something. So training like aerobic, just like a training like a jogging, and then long distance something. So it's a endurance is just like I have a three, just like endurance stamina. This is about the capacity of a heart and lungs, and then endurance for speed, and then endurance for strength. It's been in endurance have also have speed, not just only get slow or something. No, get just take a long time. Also in endurance have a strength. So here we must be agree first that badminton is a anaerobic system sport. Okay, I hope Coach Gopi can more explain something.
Yeah, I think at very good from Agus coach and Namri coach. From my side, I think for us to understand that as a sport, badminton needs our anaerobic. We will need to play the sport with less oxygen than what we breathe. So we will have to spend the body's oxygen reserves. So that being said, that is at a high level. But many of us who train grassroots level players, it is very important to understand that what is required. So if you have an under 13 player, so the fundamental thing we need to understand is we cannot make him very, very tired. That is very tired is anaerobic. But we have to use short bursts of speed and we have to give them training which involves various movements, side movement, front movement, back movement, on court and off court. They can play simple games which make them jump, run sideways, zigzag, all of those things so that they develop fully. So under 13 players, it is important that they develop a lot of base strength and movement. So it is important to do a lot of general body conditioning and not necessarily badminton specific training so much. So if a ratio is supposed to be, then maybe 60% they can play and 40% they do different things. So that is how they will develop their aerobic capacity so that after 13, they can start moving into a high intensity zone slowly as time goes by. So it's important that when we start off, everything, whether it's technically, they should know how grips are held, how footwork is. That is the stage. They should know what running is, sprint, side run, back run, zigzag run. That is one. Game-wise, they should know what defensive, attacking, those things are. And strength and endurance can be mixed by doing a lot of body weight exercises, which also keep the heart pumping at a higher pace, but not really at the highest pace, which goes into anaerobic zone. So it's very important that you slowly build this whole structure up. But under 13 level players, slowly do a lot of all body exercises, general development, general conditioning, general strength before you go into the anaerobic zone. And as a sport, it is one of the most important things that you are strong physically and you're able to run long enough. And at the international level, that becomes one of the basic criteria of badminton players is endurance. So that has to happen, but it has to happen with a strong strength, flexibility, technical, tactical base at a younger age. Over to you, Namri coach.
Yes, thank you very much for Agus coach and Gobi sir. Very detailed and I think very good. And number 2, I will explain about strength training, and number 3, speed training. Okay, and number 2, I will explain about strength training for the players. Strength training is one important factor that every badminton player must process in order to be able to play optimally, to improve the ability of the body strength exercise by utilizing weight is the best. Another term of this exercise is weight training. This for strength training. Then for speed training, speed is one of the factor that support the performance of badminton, and so that players can move quickly and practice the speed of the foot or leg, so that the movement can be more agile both in returning shuttlecock, attacking, to change the direction of movement suddenly, but not losing balance. There are a number of forms of training that need to be done by badminton players in terms of increasing speed, and the following are the request physical exercise. Can do standing squat, and also then running at close range, high speed. Use obstacles and weight or other to improve the quality of training. Conduct running activities back and forth with a distance of maybe 6 meters. Doing close range only, but with high speed. Yeah, no slow, but with high speed. I think this might explain. Maybe Agustus can more explain about strengthening, strength training, and speed training.
Okay, hello.
Yes, go ahead.
So next we go to strength and speed training. What is a strength and speed something? Sorry. Strength and speed, just like our sharing about before. Strength and speed is about something from father and mother give to the son or daughter, something here. So this is just like when strength from the beginning, we just only capable only sampai when we have a good training can be maximum until 30%, but speed just only 10% from beginning. So that's why we must know what about our player, about the strength and speed condition. This is something about borrow something from father and mother give it something. So talking about strength, also strength, I have a 3. Strength have a stamina, strength have speed, and then strength have speed. It's been like a full power. So what is a power? Power is a combination with strong strength and speed. So what is mean about full power? Full power is just like if some shot here give it have a good power, must be have strength and speed. So combination these two get its name is a power. So it like this here, our player must be our coach must be understand what is different strength, what is different about speed, and then what is combination about both of us. So when the training is strength, normally we do it in the running and weight training. So strength have from leg, from hand, and full body. Nah, this is for training. About strength is from running and weight training. But the training for speed is depend from footwork, short sprint like a 15 meter, 100 meter, 400 until 1,500, and then just like multi shuttle, we go also have a training at the speed. Also with when we training in speed, yes, well, when training in the stroke game, and just like a training on court or something, we can put in speed training. So it's training here, not just only training for running and weight training. So all combined with all program. So talking about speed, speed also have a endurance. Speed also have stamina. So just like a training like 400, if just one time, it's just about speed. But if do it like 6 or 10 time, this is going to be speed have endurance, speed have stamina. Also like 1,500, if we do it one time, this is training for speed. But if training do it 2 until 4 times, it's just training for speed have stamina. Now, last I get explain about the speed. Speed for badminton language have 3. Speed is a normal speed. Number 2, speed have endurance. Number 3, speed get more speed again. Just like when we do it like a defense goes attack, it's mean not just only change your speed, change speed and more double more speed. Just like a smash, not 100%, 110%. Now this is need speed and more speed again. So that's why the speed have to have 3, and normal speed, and then speed have a stamina. Number 3, speed and speed again. Maybe Coach Gopi can be more specific, more explain. Thank you.
I think for all of us, we need to understand where the coaches are coming from. And many of you would be coaching a lot of players. You realize that some players are strong. Day one, they come, no training, 2 11-year-olds. One is able to do 10 push-ups straight, one cannot do 1 push-up also. So majority of the times, we see that there is a difference between player to player to player. And some are good in endurance, some are good in speed, some are good in strength, some are good in flexibility. We need to understand that as a coach, we have a limitation of developing strength and speed to 10% for speed and 10% for 30% for strength. So when you start off, the opening balance for a kid, that is important. What you are born with is important. So your genetics are very important. So all of the strength training methods can help you get strength stronger by 30%. All of the speed training methods can make you speed faster by 10%. That is one thing. Now, how do you develop strength and speed? Now, it's everything is progression. When you start slowly, you take one step at a time and to become stronger and stronger. Now we can focus at the younger age on an all body development, which is very, very, very important. And as time goes by, we should try and focus on muscles which are specific, and also muscles which actually work too much in badminton, and the agonistic muscles which actually work on the opposite side. So if your biceps are strong, you have to ensure that your triceps are also strong so that your injuries don't happen. If your shoulder, one side of the shoulder is powerful, you need to ensure that the entire shoulder is actually coordinated and in proper strength in all directions so that you don't get an injury like a rotator cuff. Similarly, if your quadriceps are stronger, you need to ensure that your hamstrings need to be stronger. So these are things which are very, very important. The same training can be useful to train multiple things. If you're training sprints, if you're training one sprint full speed, that develops your speed. But if you do sprint with less rest, come back, sprint again, come back, sprint again, that can be speed endurance. And that if you do longer periods of time, that can work and help your endurance in general. Similarly, on the strength also, if you lift one time full weight, that could be max strength development. But if you doing many repetitions of the same, then it could help you to develop endurance. And if you do mid-range, it can, with longer repetitions, it can actually help you build strength endurance. So speed endurance, strength endurance, these are very, very important things. For badminton, we need muscles which are strong, but also we need muscles which can last for a long time. So strength and speed also, everybody would have one level of speed, which is their basic speed, which is good. But to have an extra gear would also be very helpful because that becomes their explosive part where they're playing a rally and suddenly they see an opportunity to smash from the back of the court or from the front of the court is something which can be really helpful. So you need to be ensure that we have all of these things incorporated into training. Now, as far as badminton is concerned, we can ask these questions. Is really long distance necessary? One question which all of us will have. I think as coaches, my personal view is not as necessary, but there is no harm. It is good to do, say, once in 15 days to go for a long run is always helpful. It helps recovery, it helps basic pulse rate. But training volumes at some point of time should be able to hit that 1 hour mark, wherein you're training continuously, whether it's multi-shuttle, whether it's sprinting, running, stroke practice, all of these things can actually be done for an hour. It is very, very good. You can do running, you can do skipping, you can do circuit training, you can do shadows, you can do multi-feed. All of these things, if you do a little longer, then it actually helps you build endurance. And that would be very, very important. Over to you, Namri Coach.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Co-Fisher and Gus Gus. And now, number 4 about agility. Agility is a person's ability to change direction quickly when moving without losing balance. Agility training is by exercise to change body movement in a straight direction, like saddle run, and then zigzag exercise, changing body position, squatting like squat thrust, and agility exercise reacts and other exercise. And number 5 about flexibility. Flexibility training, every badminton player is also required to have high flexibility. This component of physical fitness is also important for badminton player to master. Because the game of badminton is always fast and also must be flexible, but the power remains stable. A badminton player who has a less flexible body will be very easy to experience injury to muscle and joint. The movement will be very rigid so that in addition to being less relaxed, the movement will become inefficient, less harmonious, and powerless. Stretching is the simplest example, so that all the muscle of the body are more relaxed but also flexible. I think this may explain about flexibility and agility. I think Agus Coach will more detail to explain about agility and flexibility. Thank you.
Hello. Hello. So we're talking about agility. This must be all player must be have in badminton sport. So agility in badminton, it's mean many is a first start. This is a moving first time for move to stop to start. So that's why here must be clear. And then move about side by side, front and the back, something here. Now here need the power and then strength and speed about the leg and all body. This is connected. So agility is about how you're moving around here. But moving for the first start in badminton is important because we have many when we do it something, after this we wait and then wait after the second shot or something here. In here, that's why agility is important. Before Coach Namri have explained what about training about agility, some just like a shuttle run, some just like a what angkat bahaya, highly something here, and then from highly here, and then moving start from stop to start something here. So many have a training like this here, agility. And then about flexibility, it's normally it's just help our player not injury, because flexibility must be do it when our player have just like a start warming up, and then when finish training just like cooling down. This is normally helped by trainer, and then like you know, is a maintain the muscle or something. So why is that helping player not easy to injury? So when we have do it like flexibility, like a warming up, we stretch our muscle get along, so make elastic something. So if do like this here, if better do it helped by a trainer or helped by coach. So get muscle, get make stress long, just and then you come back again something here. So not easy to injury. So in my experience in tournament, injury just only have three situation. First, when our player not enough to warming up, so he can be injury. Number two, when warming up enough, but standard and heavy burden in tournament more heavy than training, so our player also can be injury. So that's why our training must be more hard, more heavy than tournament. So if not, if in training in practice not too heavy, and then the weight like not like in tournament, our player is can be injury. Number three, warming up enough and then training good. This called accident. Some player have you know is falling like a mistake or something here, and then a situation like that just like an accident. This situation cannot predictable. But if number one and number two, we must have a can be predictable. and can be get a solution. But the number 3 is difficult. That's why we call it as a accident. So, and then you know, flexibility is start from warming up and then finish by cooling down. And then in here, I'm talking about all, about endurance, stamina, and then strength and speed, agility, and then the flexibility. This is a component of the physical. And then what is the combination with the physical and technical? A long time ago, I'm sorry, my English, a long time ago, why player easy to retire, easy to stop play badminton? Just like long time ago, it's just like Lim Swee King, Ijuk Sugiarto. At the age of the 26, 27, they stop badminton because long time ago we just player and coach just focus on the physical. Now it's just like a Linda, like a Lee Chong Wei, until 34, 35, 36, still can be badminton. So now it's a different era. So why I do like this year? So that's why physical still important, but for player getting have an age 25, 26 up, they cannot more improve about physical. They just only maintain. So that's why in here, because only maintain, so that's why technique must be right. If technique right, this is make not use physical, so more efficient. So what kind of technique must be get right, must be make it right. So not use physical so many, just like a smash. This is moving right, or too much swing, or just a little. If young kid, because hey, you have to no power, just like do it like a clear or do it like a smash, you need more swing. But if a senior player, high top player, swing just only little, just like in a sport like karate or kung fu or something. When a kid don't have a power, they need more moving, like all about all body. But when become expert, just only little move, only no swing, just like that. So same as a badminton is like that also. And then training about the defense. If defense, what is defense is important is defense important is about feeling, not about training hard to something to in 1-3 not. But first about feeling when the shuttle coming. If player can be predictable when shuttle coming, the feeling is right, something not easy too much use the physical something. I think it's like this here. What is connecting between physical and technique? So here must be understand why player now can be more still play when the old age like 30 up. Yeah, first time like you know is Paul-Erik Larsen, champion Olympic champion in Olympic Atlanta. How old is he? How old is he? More than 30, 32. So after that now is a Linda Lee Chong Wei have a more older. So I come back again long time ago with just only physical because after 25, 26, the player cannot improve about physical. They just only maintain. So I hope coach understand about the why is badminton now changed something here. I hope Coach Kopi can be more explained something. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, August Coach. For all of us, we need to understand, and I come back to the point again and again that we coach different levels of players, and we need to understand that it will be when we talk world level, we talk one language. But when we are talking basic level, we need to understand that progression is what is important. Everything is progression. We need to start slowly. Strength, speed, and agility, all of it needs to be done very gradually. First is overall development and growth that should not be compromised. And young age kids should ensure that they have good nutrition, a good training plan, which doesn't make them very, very tired, but just challenges them enough. 60% of work, ideally around that percentage, should be a bit of hard work, challenging, but 40% of it should be fun and learning. As they grow older, 13 to 17, sometimes you will find very tall kids with no balance at all. You can start slowly with them, even at a young age. You can slowly start giving them little more body weight exercises. As players go little stronger, then give them dumbbells. After that, barbells. Slowly, progression is what is important. As far as growing up is concerned, young age is concerned, it is important that we focus on flexibility during this age. Because at a older age, flexibility becomes little more tougher to develop. But flexibility is important because otherwise the body is stiff and the movement is not coordinated well. It doesn't flow. It is not harmonious enough. So it doesn't produce the right kind of power which you can produce if your muscles are flexible and light. So it's very important that we develop flexibility and we spend a lot of time on flexibility. Typical idea is that you almost need to spend 4 hours of flexibility per week to see development, and which normally happens in around 3 months time. So four hours every day. So 4 hours every day would be almost 10-15 minutes when you're doing warm up, another 10-15 minutes during stretching. On both times, if you do, then then you actually are addressing the flexibility issue. So one is range of motion, which would be your joints are fully rotating 100%. And then individual muscles will be focusing on the flexibility of the muscle. So it is very, very important that we look at flexibility as a big component. That is one thing which we need to look at. And agility and flexibility agility is also a component which is involved. At a young age, it's good to be supple, move, give them a lot of ball exercises, a lot of shuttle exercises, which actually can make them move multidirectionally. And after a while, it would be important that the players, as and when they grow more stronger, they will become more flexible, more agile, because they are stronger and flexible, and that will also help them become more agile. So this can be done, but the transition has to be done. So whenever they're doing weight training, so ensure that they do some kind of exercise afterwards, which makes them supple and light. Over to you, Nabri Coach.
Hello. Yes, thank you, Agus Coach and Gopi Sir. And I think today about our topic, physical, endurance, strengthening, speed, and agility, and flexibility. I think enough for me. But now still have time. Maybe can have like a question and answer question. And I hope that this explanation can be useful for the coaches, for all the coaches in India, from explain from Gobisher and from Agus Coach. And maybe after this can have like question and answer question, and maybe we try to answer for a question for the coaches. Wah, kok hilang? Gambarku hilang. Mas, gambarku hilang ya. Ya, Mas, tolong gambarku hilang ya. Apa bulan?
Sir, go begin, sir. I unmuted, sir.
Yeah, I think there are a few questions which are coming in. I will just try, and one of the questions is, can we use strength exercises after speed exercises? I would prefer that the last exercise is a speed exercise because it helps to have muscles which are more supple, and also muscle memory remembers the last exercise done. So I would really prefer to have speed as the last exercise unless you have injury related issues. Then the second thing is, so I come back to it. There cannot be a clear answer if you're asking questions in general, but there's one question which says, how many training sessions will be better for under 15 professional badminton players? I would say that give a rest on Wednesday evening and give a rest on Saturday evening and Sunday. I think that would be important. 5 sessions, 1 sessions could be good. If you're doing very heavy training, then I've also done 3 sessions, 1 session's rest. But ideally, at the moment, I would say go for 5 sessions, 1 session rest, 5 sessions, and then 1.5 day rest could be good. Can you tell me a weekly program? See, I would prefer that we have the training programs which have badminton in the morning as an exercise, because whatever needs to be improved, basically if you address it in the beginning, it's good beginning of the day, and skill is something which is best learned when you're not tired. So on-court sessions in the morning and off-court sessions in the evening is what I would prefer. That's one of the questions. Can we use strength training before tournament? Yes, you can. You can use strength training before tournament. Ensure that you're doing some speed exercise after that, and also doing some flexibility after that. That would be important. I think there are lots of questions. What can we do at home? In fact, on Friday, I will take an entire session on these exercises physically, where we are able to move and show you. So on Friday, I will be showing you a bunch of agility exercises, flexibility exercises, which can actually help in giving all of these. So I will go through these questions. I think there are randomly many questions which are coming. I think, okay, that's I think too many. So on Friday, I will show you physically all of those grips, movements, and physical exercises which would be there. And the benchmarks about training, how much of strength, I will ask my physios who are taking the class tomorrow to explain to you what is a good ratio, and whether it's 2 times the body weight or 2.5 times, depending on what kind of muscle. I will ask my physios tomorrow, Kiran and Johnson, to address that issue. Over to you. I think Bhaskar can compile some of these questions and send them to me, and then I can answer these on the Friday session. Tomorrow we'll have a physio session, which will actually handle the issues which are related to injuries and strength training.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. I will forward, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Bhaskar.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you, Agus coach and Namri coach. If you want to address something, please go ahead. Agus coach and Namri coach.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Good, sir.
Yeah. So talking about the weekly program. So normally weekly, monthly is depend of the tournament. We're talking about the senior and the high level player. If with like a junior or but a teenager or young kid something, this is different. But normally from for senior player, some program have rest one day in Wednesday. So Monday 2 time, Tuesday 2 time, and then Wednesday 1 time, Thursday and Friday 2 time, and then Saturday 1 time. But if we have a time, just like a preparation of like 2 or 3 or 4 months, we must know the condition our player here. Now they're running for become a world player or become a top player. This is need more sacrifice or something. So some program like this is okay, but for me it's just like a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday 2 time, Thursday 1 time, and then Friday and Saturday 2 time. This if a preparation have a long, so we can put in the training, get for get enough enough time, enough have program something. Why Friday and Saturday have 2 time? Because normally in tournament, Saturday is a semi-final, Sunday is a final. Player, huh? Yes. Hello. Normally, if normal time, if training in Saturday, training is a little bit get low. They think about fun, they think about a holiday or something here. But when we go to tournament, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, this is a must be have still focus. So why not? We take our player can be habit like this year. But if we have a preparation like 1 month and then a 2 week or 3 week training here, I think it's better is when we have many have a rest or something. So better is just like Coach Kopi said, Monday, Tuesday have a 2 time, Wednesday 1 time, Tuesday and Friday 2 time, Saturday 1 time. This is more better. So make more player have time to study about the badminton, have knowledge about badminton and technique or something here, and then have time to rest, have time to recover something here, and then some asking about how many time to training strength. For me, strength is cannot be training just every time. So in my program, training strength is a big program. It's take 2 time. So just like 1 time in Monday, 1 time in Tuesday. Other time like Wednesday, like Friday and Saturday, we give it just sifatnya tambahan apa? Just like extra session something. Or do it something that not enough time when we do it in Monday and Tuesday. So why need take a rest, have a 2 time, 2 days like this year? Because if we have a training, strength training in 1 day, body need rest, muscle also need rest. If not, easy to injury something. But normally when we have training like weight training like here, and then we rest until 2 or 3 days, the muscle must be what is called just like a disappear, just like a gone or something. So that's why in training, he must be make it continue, but need rest. And then for habit for tournament, some player need training like a more gym, more heavy gym, something. This is depend of the player. Some player need in tournament just need only maintains only 50 or only 40, 50 until 60%. But I saw the just like a player like a Sun Jun, because Sun Jun is a is a player with a defense goes attack. Some need explosive power or something here. So when he go to tournament, first time he look at his first time he look for is any gym in the hotel or something. And then when I saw his training like we do it training like a normal training, and we do it in a home, not like in tournament. So this is like a different. So just like a different here, something here. So we must know our player habit something here. So because we have just like a badminton player, so like a training like a stroke, maybe take every time, maybe in a week need five time training for stroke and game or something here. Normally in the session afternoon, normally just only physical, but there is some techniques training need physical. So sometimes we do it morning and afternoon must be on court, but maybe afternoon not too much time in on court. At least until 1 hour enough something. So I think it's enough for me about training schedule training or something here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Namresh sir, want to tell anything, sir? Or else can I end the meeting?
No, sir. Thank you. I think finish for our class today. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
And yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, Gopichan, sir. I'm ending the meeting.
That's fine. I think thank you, Namri coach. Thank you, August coach, and thanks to all the other coaches present. I think tomorrow we'll have a session on physio and strength, and they will address some of these issues. And on Friday, I will show you physically the exercises which many of you have been asking on the questions. So keep your questions for flexibility, and there was somebody asking for yoga, somebody asking for agility drills and shadows. I think whatever is possible in the room without the code, I will try and show many of those exercises. So thank you very much, all of you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Okay, sir.
Thanks,
Thank you, sir.
Bhaskar.
Yeah, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bhaskar.
I'm requesting all coaches, please mark your attendance. I'm requesting all coaches, please start giving your attendance in chat box. Mark with your name or designation and center. Those who gave the attendance may leave, please. Please mark attendance with your name, designation, and center. Those who gave the attendance can leave, please. Please, those who gave the attendance can leave. Thank you. Thank you all coaches. With this, I'm ending the meeting. I will meet tomorrow. Thank you all.